Greetings and welcome to my channel, the first video on this channel. My name is Jer and I'm the last Valentine, and today we're going to be reviewing the new exotic HMG Heir Apparent, which just dropped in Destiny 2 with the beginning of the Guardian Games seasonal event. So without anything further, let's get into it. First things first, we have to figure out where do we get this new weapon from. Well, at Eva Levante in the tower, if you speak to her, you'll see that you can select the HMG from the top left corner of her menu. However, it says you must complete the Class Act Triumph first in order to reclaim it. This can be found in your Triumphs tab under the Seasonal section, and then you would tab over to the Events section of the Seasonal tab. From there, you can see the different triumphs that you would need to complete, and the Class Act Triumph itself requires that you complete 7 other triumphs from this event. So pick any 7, complete those, and you will be able to claim the Heir Apparent from Eva. Let's take a look at these weapon perks. To start, we have Corkscrew Rifling, which is going to give us a small bump to range stability and to handling speed. Appended Mag, which will increase our magazine size. Armor of the Colossus, which will grant us an arc overshield when the weapon is fully spun up and we are at max health, as well as Combat Grip, which is going to help us to control the recoil. The intrinsic exotic perk is going to be Heavy Slug Thrower. You use your aim down sight button to spin the weapon up, and only once it is fully spun up can the weapon be fired. Side note for this, there is no aiming down sights on this weapon. It is a hip fire only heavy machine gun. So let's go over some final thoughts about this weapon while you see some strike gameplay in the background. Just to let you know, this strike does have the modifiers Heavyweight and Solar Burn, which means that the Heir Apparent will be doing more damage than it normally would do, but it kind of gives you an idea regardless. Spinning up the weapon and going to Pound Town on a little group of ads is tremendous fun. There's just something about the hip fire nature of the gun where you're just walking slowly around, mowing down everything in front of you. You start to feel like an actual Cabal Colossus. The arc shield is a nice little touch. However, if you take arc damage, your shield will pop just like the shields of the ads do when you match the element of the shields. So that's something to keep in mind. If you're in a fire team and you guys are close together, you take arc damage and that shield popping will actually damage your teammates a little bit as well. While the shield popping mechanic isn't really a big deal one way or another, it's not going to necessarily ruin too many runs. It's a neat little feature, and it kind of shakes things up a bit, and it gives some character to this gun that some of the other exotics just seem to be kind of lacking. As you can see in the gameplay on the screen, the Heir Apparent can handle all of these enemies in this room, whether it's the majors, the explosive shanks, the red bars that come through. Even the servitors that drop down here are handled quickly and easily. Now again, it's Solar Heavyweight modifier, so it's doing a little bit better than it normally would, but even still, it's handling business quite nicely, and I've got really very few complaints in this area. Moving ahead here to the Spider Tank section of this strike, you'll notice that the DPS isn't quite as good against a larger enemy with more health. And even though it's doing a decent job with damage, you can see here that with the Spider Tank at half health, it takes the better part of a full magazine plus the assistance of this friendly Arc Strider Hunter to finish the Spider Tank off all the way. So it's not going to be something that's great for boss DPS or any target like this that has a huge amount of health. It'll take you consistently plinking away at them in order to bring them down. So against something that may be able to fire back at you regularly while you're trying to do your sustained DPS, it might not work so well. You're going to end up taking a lot of damage. The arc shield helps to mitigate that, but depending on what kind of activity you're running and whether or not you're running in a solo fire team or with a couple of friends, that will begin to change how much mileage and use you get out of this particular weapon. So is it worth the grind? I think that many players will end up naturally and organically getting many of these triumphs done throughout the course of the 3-week Guardian Games. However, if you're late to the party and you have to catch up now, then it really comes down to whether you're a completionist or not, or a collector, and you want to go ahead and spend the rest of this week grinding out bounties, laurels, and gold medals, or just medals in general, in order to get this weapon. It's a lot of fun. It's great to take out in patrol spaces and strikes. It's got decent enough power to where you're not going to feel like it's lacking, and you'll enjoy using it. It's something that's different and enjoyable. And while it's not going to be the DPS king, not everything has to be. And so with that, I would say that the Heir Apparent is fun. It's good for general use, great for any new light players who are coming through and want to get something different, expand their exotic collection out a little bit with something that's got real character. And that's going to wrap up my quick take on the Heir Apparent exotic heavy machine gun. If you enjoyed the video, hey, don't forget to leave a like down below. Subscribe. I know it's new. There's only one video. Nobody's going to see this. It's okay. Still got to practice either way. I do also stream on Twitch. Right now I stream on Tuesdays and Thursdays. You can find the link down in the description below, twitch.tv/thelastvalentine. Thank you so much for joining me, and I'll catch you live on stream hopefully, as well as in the next video. We'll see you next time.